and welcome to Everything Flute. In this video, we are discussing Second Menuet de l'Arlésienne by Bizet. And shout out to Madvi for pushing me to do this video, for wanting to know more. Thank you. All right, so this piece was actually written 4 years after Bizet's death. It was actually arranged, you'd say, by this guy. He found different themes of Bizet's and made a multi-movement work. Some people thought it was cool, some people not. But the third movement, which is what we're playing, is one of the better known movements. And it's a big flute solo. So this solo really only has 4 themes. That's it, just 4 themes. We're gonna discuss each theme, how they kind of develop to make it a little bit different sounding, but it's actually just the same theme. So let's talk about the very first theme, the beginning of the piece to A. You notice pianissimo, you're gonna have to really support and just make sure that you're opening your throat to have this nice, beautiful sound. This is one of the hardest parts about this piece. It looks easy, but it's deceptively hard because you have these large interval skips and you don't want the notes to stick out when you're going up the octave. So let's try this beginning part. 1, 2, ready, go. Isn't the beginning melody just so pretty, floating between the registers? Now, on the orchestral version, the harp is the only other instrument playing at the same time. And it has straight eighth notes while the flute is playing. This is wonderful because it helps you keep a really steady pulse. So if you're doing this for an audition or for a solo to perform, just make sure you have that steady pulse and think about it as you're playing. It's very important for this next section, A to B, to really have that steady pulse as well, because now we're introducing a lot of 16th notes. The melody is very similar to the beginning melody. We're taking a lot of the eighth notes in the beginning melody, like if you look at measure 2, the B flat and G, it's an eighth note, and we're just doubling it up for the second measure of A, doing B flat, G, B flat, G. That's very common throughout this whole section to kind of copy the beginning to A. Let's try this. 1, 2, ready, go. The embellished melody we had A to B, you're gonna actually play that 2 more times in this piece. First, I wanna talk about H to the end. We're gonna talk about that one first because it's just you and harp. Just like A to B is just you and harp. So you wanna make sure that they're very similar to each other. The other place that you're playing this melody is 1 after F to G. And it is still you and harp, and a saxophone is added in there. It's like a counter melody. You get to play off of it a little bit. And you might want to change your tone color or play a little bit beefier because we all know that one saxophone can sound like 6, 7 flutes easy. So hopefully you have a saxophone player that knows you're a flute and Can't play that loud because, yeah, our instrument doesn't have that dynamic range. So now let's talk about B to C. It's a new simplified melody. It goes up stepwise each measure. So we start on an F in the first measure. The next measure we start on a G, then we start on an A flat, and then we start on a B flat. So make sure to really support up so we're not scooping in, but we're hitting the notes right where they should speak. Really focused. Remember, we're trying to make this sound like a super easy piece. Okay? If you've never seen staccatos under a slur, it means to play the notes very connected but tongued. So I like to use a do, 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 do articulation when I'm playing this to keep them more connected. So let's give it a whirl. 1, 2, ready, go. The melody we just played actually repeats at G to H. So you know F to the end already. Pretty sweet, huh? Now, C to D actually just takes this melody and makes it more complex. The first thing to note here is that the oboe adds in, and it's playing in unison with the flute. So intonation is very important, making sure that you're listening to the oboe and matching that kind of sound that the oboe has. Other ways it makes it more complex here, note-wise. Let's look at the first measure of B. We have F and G. Well, at C, we have F and G. They're just twice as fast, so we add another F and G. And same with the next measure, and the next measure. There's a lot of similarities between these two sections, and it's going to be easier just to point a lot of them out than to say this measure, this measure. So here they are. Now that you see that the melodies are very similar, all these extra notes can be like sprinkles on the cupcake. Just have fun playing them. Let's try it. 1, 2, ready, go. The full orchestra adds in at D, which is why there are so many accents and forte, and it looks so heavy. It's very different than the beginning, where it was just flute and harp. So D to F actually only has 2 different ideas. Each one is just 4 measures. So let's try playing the first 4 measure idea. 1, 2, ready, go. So this first full and heavy melody just repeats, and then when we get to E, we get our second full and heavy melody. It sounds like this. 1, 2, ready, go. So that's the second heavy melody. Then we go back to the first heavy melody, then the second heavy melody, then the first heavy melody again. So we learned 8 measures for a 24 measure section. That's pretty cool. Now, you know F to the end? It's just the last 3 measures we need to talk about. The half notes, make sure to hold them for the full value. It's easy to think that, oh wow, I'm on this note a long time. I need to move on. But no. They're gonna feel really long. And then the very last note, the high E flat, work on supporting, bringing your lips out, working on the mouth shape. You can play some harmonics like a low E flat or an A flat, and then overblow it to the high E flat to get the correct mouth shape. Now we're gonna play it all the way through closer to 72. 1, 2, ready, go. as you start playing all the way through the piece, you're gonna start noticing that it is very tiring on the lips. You have to keep it supported and the lips very firm for all these pianos and pianissimos. So you're gonna get strong in your lips. If you like this video, please press the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. If you turn on the little notification bell, you'll get notified when a new video comes out. Thank you so much for watching Everything Flute, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.